Hello and welcome to another episode of our Stocks to Watch series. I'm your business analyst and host, Munir Barazi, and today I'm speaking with Chris Frostad, the founder, CEO, and president of Purepoint Uranium, a uranium exploration company overseeing several high-potential properties in Saskatchewan, Canada. And today we're going to discuss the company's solvency, liquidity, and potential returns. Purepoint is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange as PTU and on the OTCQB as PTUUF. Hello, Chris, and welcome again.
Good day, Munir. Good to see you.
Good day. Thank you. So let's start with the great news. Purepoint has recently announced a 4 million non-brokered private placement. This should enable you to continue your exploration efforts. And it seems that the private placement went very smoothly, indicating strong investor interest in what Purepoint has to offer. Can you tell us more about this private placement and what made it so attractive to investors?
Sure. Well, we did announce a private placement earlier in December, and it was very successful. What we announced we were looking for $2.5 million, and we wound up with which is great news. I mean, it gives us all the money we're going to need to move these projects along in the new year. And in terms of in success in that regard, I think what we're seeing is just the excitement around uranium in general. The price of uranium is closing in on $90, which means that it's gone up almost 100% since the beginning of the year, and it doesn't look like there's any end in sight right now. So I think based on that, the fact that I think uranium in general is going to continue to see a lot of excitement because of the shortages that we know that we're going to be running into in the coming year. That's made a lot of people focus more on the sector. In our situation, we have, as you mentioned, we have quite an extensive portfolio of projects right across the region in Saskatchewan, and they're all at a very mature state of exploration. And that being, we're going to be drilling on them moving forward. In the process of exploration, there's typically a lot of upfront work you need to do around getting your properties together, doing your investigation on them, doing surface sampling and geophysics and all those things you do to define proper target areas and target definition. We've gone through all of that process. So we are now at that stage where we are simply drilling, and you can only find something if you're drilling. So I think this coming year, because now that we have the cash in the bank and we have a lot of projects that we can move forward, I think that really led to a lot of excitement around our financing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the success of this private placement indicates there is a lot of optimism regarding uranium and Purepoint. Let's talk a bit about how you will deploy those funds. We know that you plan to continue your drilling program in the Hook Lake project, among others. Could you give us a brief update on the current status of this project and your planned drilling program for 2024?
Yes, well, Hook Lake is one of probably our premier project right now. It is on the western side of Saskatchewan, which is an area that's really been opened up in the last 5-10 years to uranium exploration and discovery. It's a joint venture we have with Cameco and Orano, two of the largest uranium providers in the world. And we're the operator, which is also a unique situation for us to find ourselves in, because it's very rare that you see major mining companies allowing the junior partner in the tent to run the show. So we've been very pleased with that situation, and we had our technical committee meeting about a month ago, where we proposed what we wanted to do next, and that was approved. So we'll be out in mid-January to start that program, and what we'll be following up on again in that area of Hook Lake, there's been about 300 million pounds of uranium identified just off our claim line over the last 10 years. So it really has been opening up as a new district. And we started working a bit of a new area. It's a large project. So this is a new area for us. We started drilling there last winter. And it was around the end of the program, we started to come into the mineralization that we would like to see. I think we hit about 0.08% uranium, plus a lot of other indicators that we typically see when we're coming into something large, like the boron and alteration and other things that are all good to see. That mean you might be on the edge of something. So that was at the end of our program in the winter. That's what we're following up on this time around. So we've proposed a handful of drill holes now to follow up on that. We're going to be moving a little bit further to the north. The holes will be a little deeper than before, and we're all quite excited to see what we're stepping into out there.
Yeah, you're opening many fronts out there. Hopefully, you'll discover a lot of potential in those projects. You have also signed earlier this year an options agreement with Foran Mining, allowing Foran to acquire up to 100% interest in your Denair West project. Foran has agreed to invest $350,000 in an unbrokered private placement, which is another significant cash injection for Purepoint. Can you explain why you decided to enter into this agreement and how you plan to use those funds?
Well, that particular project that Foran's working on our behalf it's not a uranium project. It's copper zinc. It's one of the largest projects in the province. It's on the eastern side of the province, and it's a project that we or a property that we acquired about 5 or 6 years ago when things were slow. We are an exploration company, so we're always looking for opportunities, and it was an area that was near the mine that they're developing there, and we picked up that property and we held it for a while, and during that time they started developing that project aggressively, and it now looks like it's going to be a very significant mine. It will be going into production, but they continued to explore to the south, and what we realized was that they had explored right up to our claim line, and that it looked like their deposit does trend onto our property. We did some preliminary work out there and by way of geophysics to determine that yes, it in fact was heading in our direction, and it did extend into the property, and that's when we approached them and said, this looks like something you folks might be more interested in than us. And so the transaction itself allows them to earn into that property. Over the next 6 years, they'll be spending about $6 million in exploration to advance it. At the end of that time, they will earn 80% of the project, and we'll still have 20% of that mining project. They have the option to acquire the other 20% for $10 million at that point, if things go in a positive direction, and that leaves us then with a royalty on that project going forward. So it all works out very well to us. If they don't, if they in fact do not acquire the last 20%. We would go into a joint venture and become part of that mining project, and in fact would still not have to. It would not cost us any money until the point is we get to a preliminary economic assessment. So we would have a free carry on our 20% until such time as they've spent adequate money to prove it to be an economic resource. So it's for Purepoint, it's only upside. It doesn't cost us anything at this point moving forward. The onus is on them. They're the experts in this particular area, and that project is ticking along very, very well. And it's a third major mining company that we're now associated with and related to in the province of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and this will allow you to focus on your core activities, which is uranium exploration, and also give you positive exposure. When it comes to that 20% and the potential royalties. So a great deal overall. The Athabasca Basin in Saskatchewan is a prolific area, and you own several projects there in various stages of development. While you don't have a definitive feasibility study yet, what can you tell us about the resource potential of those projects, especially now that you have sufficient capital to proceed with your drilling programs?
Well, the area itself continues to be prolific. It's far from, despite the fact that they've been identifying and mining deposits there for the last 50 years. We continue to find more and more every year. As a matter of fact, I think over the last 50 years, you could calculate that a new deposit has been identified every couple of years. And as a matter of fact, in the last 10 years, probably 25% of all the uranium that's been found out there was found during that time frame. So as we understand the area more and more, it becomes even more exciting to be working out there. But it is a difficult thing to find. These things are small, they're efficient, they're high grade, therefore they're probably no bigger than a medium-sized apartment building, but they're buried under the ground somewhere, which makes it a little more difficult for us to find them. In our case, because of the work we've done across all of our projects, I mean, we're not looking at a single Hail Mary here. I talk about the upside we have at a Hook Lake, which our partners feel has all the potential to be a tier 1 deposit at the end of the day. We have another 7 or 8 projects that all have that sort of potential, and our 100% owned projects reside on the opposite side of the province, which is where all the mine trend is. All the other existing mines have been found to date. So I think if you look through our portfolio, you look at our projects, it's fairly we've tried to make it fairly simple as to understand why we feel these projects have potential and what it is we're looking for at any particular time. And again, it's exploration. So we've done everything we can to maximize the odds that next big discovery is going to have our name on top of it.
Yeah, there is a lot of upside potential indeed here. And it looks like an exciting year lies ahead for Purepoint. For investors watching us, why is now the right time to add Purepoint to their portfolios? And what makes the company a stock to watch?
Well, I think as we mentioned time and time again, the uranium sector is providing a lot of support in general to investors. So as you're looking across the resources sector, it seems to be the one that people see the most promise in the near term. Beyond that, we know that exploration typically provides the biggest upside when, in fact, a discovery is made. We know that. These are speculative investments always, but we do know that when a discovery is made, you're looking at an improvement in stock price of 300 or 400% almost immediately. So it has that sort of cachet to it as well. And in our particular case, we have the projects. We've got extensive projects. We can demonstrate that we've identified the potential in all of these projects by way of drilling or geophysics. We're working our way systematically through them, and I think in the coming year, with the money we have in the bank, with the partners we have, with the projects we have, I think you're going to see Purepoint as one of the top performers.
Yeah, that's a perfect recipe for success. Chris Frostad, the CEO and president of Purepoint Uranium, thank you so much for sharing all of those insights today, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Thanks a lot, Munir.